a lot of people that I think I would imagine a lot of people in church that are kind of even afraid to take that first step. They may feel a calling, but it's like, we're okay. We've had our kids; they're already in college now. What do we need?
Yeah.
What do we need to adopt for?
One of the elders told me that someone came to him and said that they don't like me talking on adoption because it makes them feel guilty.
Oh, really?
Would you tell Kirk not to talk about adoption anymore?
That probably just means we need to talk about it more,
I
right?
know.
I was going to say,
That's what they said.
something's pulling on their heartstrings.
Why do I stop talking about what's on
Why
God's heart?
are they feeling guilty? That was my question.
I think
Now,
he initiated our furniture the first night home. I said, you'd think after 3 weeks of being in Maine and changing diapers, we'd have it all figured out.
Yeah, you got to have a diaper ready for when the little fountain starts.
Yeah.
Jake I'm not on here. I'm not on.
Hello? Who's that? Who's that?
Test 1, 2, test. Test. I guess I'm on.
Okay. Check 1, 2.
Check 1, 2.
Check 1, 2. We're on.
Now, Dave, there are many I know that probably have a lot of fears or inhibitions about this whole process of adopting. They could have feelings like, I can't afford it, or it's too complicated, or our lives are too settled now and it will disrupt our life. And I mean, there's various reasons, and a lot of them are real valid. But what would you say to someone through what you've experienced to encourage them if those are some of the issues that they have?
Yeah, Kirk, that was exactly where I was. We threw out all those excuses. It's really easy to do that, but fear is the thing that was really almost holding us back. I could say there were several times where we almost said, well, our lives are fine. Why change it? It's too much money. It's
kind of the fear of the unknown too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was really scary, and I think that's really where having faith in God and having the support system, the adoption support group, and other people to pray with us and just really get our questions answered. When we first came to the group, we had a lot of questions, and some of it we just thought, well, it's we can't do this, we can't do that. But getting those questions answered, overcoming those fears, just really having faith in God that He'll provide. Whether it's money or it's changing our lives or whatever it is, but being able to have that faith in God to take the next step, that's really what got us through this whole thing. And I would encourage anybody to have that faith in God, have a support group, and to move forward. And if they feel like that God's really calling them to do this, do it. Don't disappoint God.
So the reality is when God speaks to us and when we go through this process where we can get to the point of saying yes to Him, then He gives us the grace to follow it out.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened to us.
Well, that's a great testimony. Thanks for sharing that part of the adoption process. Super. Physical therapist. Yeah. Okay. Okay, should I look at the camera then?
Yeah, initially. Ready? What do you want us to look at? What do you want us to look at?
He's got 3 cameras going, so.
Oh, my.
So we can look wherever.
Yeah.
He'll edit it so it looks.
Right.
Always does.
Ready?
Yeah.
And go for it.
Greetings, Canyon View. I am actually here interviewing some very special people. This is David and Teri Brown and their new 5-week-and-a-half-year-old son, Jacob, Jakey Poo, whatever you want to call him. And When I heard their story, I said, man, the church needs to hear what God has done in these guys. And so we asked them to come in for this interview and felt that it was invaluable for our church to hear their story. So Dave and Terry, thanks for being here. And Jacob, welcome. And so you guys have been married for how long?
11 and a half years.
11 and a half years, and you were not able to conceive yourself to have children. And Dave, from my understanding, can you say how you felt about not being able to bear children?
Well, how about the easy questions first? Come on. I've never been asked that, so
You want me to ask it a different way?
ask me my name or ask me about the weather or something.
What's your social security number?
How do I feel about not being able to have children?
Or maybe
First of all, that happened early on. Yeah. I mean, a year into our marriage, I had to have a hysterectomy. So we knew early on in our marriage that we were not going to be able to conceive and have our own children.
Okay.
If we wanted to do that.
And so, Dave, how did you feel about that?
Well, I was actually okay with that at the time. I was really okay with that. I liked kids, but I didn't really see kids as being part of our family for the first 10 plus years of our marriage.
Uh-huh. You enjoyed just having you and Terry and not having your life intruded upon by a little one, and you guys enjoyed having a very simple and exciting life together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we liked having the routine that we could do, and just knowing what every day was, and not having things interrupted by a child. It was nice. It was easy, and I lived that way for 10 years of our marriage.
Okay, Terry, how was it for you?
Well, I always wanted a large family, so several years ago, I had planned on having a family of at least 8 kids.
8 kids?
And as my life progressed, I thought one might be nice. But, I've always felt that there was a place in my heart and in my life for children. I felt that when I was unable to have children, I thought that God had a different purpose for me, and I didn't know what that was. I went searching about 7 years ago. I really started looking at mission work, looking at what I could do in orphanages around the world and things like that, but nothing really felt right, and so I never really pursued anything beyond that.
So you had prayed about it, and it was basically kind of put on the back burner for you.
Correct.
Okay. And so, Dave, I'm just really curious, how would you describe what God did in you to bring you to the point of actually adopting little Jacob?
Well, I blame not only God, but I also blame you for that too. No,
they always blame me.
Whether you're the instrument or whatever. But no, I think you really touched my heart. Like I said, I've always enjoyed kids, and I've always liked being around kids. Even before I was married, I really liked kids a lot. It wasn't that I was against kids, but when you spoke last fall about orphans and widows, and you talked about that, and it really, I think it broke down a wall that's been there for a long, long time. I mean, obviously for more than 10 years, and it got me just exploring and praying and really getting in touch with God as to what He had for my future. And the more I did that, and the more I explored that, adoption was really the answer. It was really a piece that was missing in my life, and learning that there's so many kids out there that don't have parents and don't have a family. And here we are. It was really being selfish. That it was just the two of us. That we could share our love with Jacob, or maybe even more later, who knows? But that's really where it all started, was back in the fall. And as you can tell, it's moved quickly along since then.
And you made some radical decisions in doing this. Share with the folks here how you felt God direct you not only to adopt, but you've made some major life changes.
That's true. Yeah, and I decided that really to raise Jacob properly, he needs a lot of love. I mean, any baby needs a lot of love. But it kind of broke my heart to think, well, we both have jobs, and we'll take him into our house, and then we'll put him into have somebody take care of him while we're working. And we both worked a lot of hours. I thought that wouldn't be right, so I made a decision, once we decided to adopt, that I would leave my job and be a stay-at-home dad. So I am Mr. Mom now. I'm loving it.
That is incredible. And you also decided to sell your house in Battle Mesa.
Correct, yes.
Which the Lord graciously sold for you in this market.
Yeah, that was a miracle too. That all happened. It all happened at the same time. It was really quite amazing that how God just really blessed us. I mean, we sold our house, and then it was a little over a month later. We're off to get Jacob.
And now you have moved into Grand Junction, so you can be more part of the community here at Canyon View.
Yes, yeah, that's something we've been wanting to do for the last couple of years, and we've had our house on the market for almost a year. So, but God, I think, was just waiting for us to move forward on everything, and once He did, the floodgates just opened up, and now we're here and ready to go.
So what you've basically experienced is many times when we say yes to God, then He opens the floodgates for us.
He did.
He did.
In a big way.
In a big way. Now, Terry, can you describe to us what it's like to have a child that you've adopted? What have you experienced as a mom?
Well, I've actually found a whole different part of myself in just the outpouring of love and in being with him, and the love that I feel from him. And I think that it's really brought me a lot closer to God as far as my faith and just hope for my future and hope for Jacob's future. It's been just an incredible 5 weeks, and really look forward to the rest of his little life.
And Dave, how has it affected you and changed you?
Well, I think it's taken the focus off myself. I really feel like I've been selfish. I've been focused on me, entertaining myself, doing the things, and even though Terry and I have a very close relationship, but it was really just Terry and I. And now I feel like that I have a bigger purpose, and we've got somebody else to raise and teach him about God and have him have a relationship with Jesus, and the future is just wide open. What can he do? I mean, who knows? I mean, one time everybody was Jacob's age, and who knows?
So it's given you a bigger purpose, and it's given your life some significance in being able to have Jacob a part of your life and being his dad.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it that I really feel like it's one of God's purposes for my life is to help raise Jacob, and just give him my heart, give him my all. It's definitely bringing me closer to God, through Jacob.
Now, this was a domestic adoption, that the mother was from Maine.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's various other means that we can help children in crisis. There's foster parenting, there's foster adopt, there's domestic adoptions, and then, of course, people are looking into foreign adoptions. Now, I'm just curious what you guys would say to a person or a couple in this church that